Hey everybody, it's Brandy and you are watching Abstract Crafter. Today we have a post review on Witchy Owl. I have a little preview picture in my hand here for you. I have a lot of thoughts and I'm kind of excited and I'm kind of disappointed. So if you want to hear all of those conflicting thoughts and see the finished result, then just keep on watching and we will get into that in just a few moments. Why, hello friends, welcome back. And if you are new to my channel, then welcome. I am so glad that you stopped by today to share a little bit of your time with me in my world. So, Witchy Owl, a year in the making. I'm going to do this. I've been debating about how I really wanted to do this particular canvas because I bought it at one store, but they use drop shipping and got it from another store. So, why don't we flip this beautiful creature over to show you. And of course, it's a giant canvas. This is a 50 by 50, so I can't show you the whole thing. I have some pictures and some side-by-sides that I will share with you in a few moments in the video here. But let's just go find the top of the canvas here. And I'll kind of use my hands to give you a pan of it. And we'll keep focused on her face. Plus then you get that really beautiful wave of sparkle that squares are known for. And there she is. We'll try to focus her the best I can. So, what do you think? I'm going to say first and foremost, post reviews, I always get those comments that will say, I'm being too hard, they don't agree with me, and that is your prerogative. That is fine. But I have to tell you, I'm being overcritical. As a person who does reviews on YouTube, as just a consumer, my thoughts are different. But I am looking at this with a different eye to try to find the good, the bad, the in-between, to make you informed consumers. If I didn't have this channel, I would still probably be just as critical of my own work. But I am specifically looking for things to critique this particular painting on. This does not always speak to the company as a whole, which is why having multiple videos out there on the same company is good. So I always like to encourage people to not just take my word for it, watch other reviews on the same stores, go check out the reviews on their online pages, use all of the resources available to you, and then combine them all to form one opinion on whether or not you want to purchase from the store, purchase the canvas in particular. I am just one little speck of dirt in this giant mound. So I never claim to be the end-all be-all as far as if you should buy from them or not. But, and I don't mean that in any kind of negative way at all. I myself watch, if I'm looking for a video review, I at least watch 3 or 4. And then I read the online reviews. And then I'll go even further than that and I'll look on Facebook and groups and stuff and search terms specifically for the stores and stuff. I just want to add my 2 cents. Like I said, I'm just one speck of dirt in this giant mound. So take that for what you will. My opinions may be different than yours. And that's okay. That's what makes this world great. That's what makes this community great. And first and foremost, I am very happy with this painting. I have no regrets. And I want to emphasize that very clearly before I start ripping it apart. So that is going to happen. It's a fact. It's going to happen. Very few canvases have had 0 problems. They do exist. I have had some myself. coming from someone who has completed almost 100 diamond paintings of various sizes, I feel like I have a good sense about these things. I'm a good judge of how all of this matters and what all of this means. So, not to toot my own horn or anything, but, you know, toot toot. So let's just get right into it. I have a little checklist that I use when I am reviewing a canvas, both for unboxing and for post reviews. So if you're curious and you want more information about that, there is a link in the description box. It's called my updated checklist or something like that. It's there. It's one of the first links that you come across in my description. And it's like a half-hour video, 20-minute video, something like that, that goes very in-depth on how I review my canvases. If you are curious, it is there for you. Here's the inventory sheet. This is probably one of the last inventory sheets I got. So this is a 50 by 50 full square, 32 colors. And right off the bat, which is really weird, some of this information, and we'll get into why some of this is weird. So, for example, I got a lot of the colors had +1s, if you can see that. So if you have never seen an inventory sheet, they're all basically the same. Even when they're not written in English or in your particular language, it's always your symbol, the DMC number, if there is one associated to it, the quantity, and in this case, they came in 200 count bags, and it tells you how many of those bags that you get in that column. And the ones with circles there, now if you haven't seen the unboxing, because it is a year old, I will link that up in the eye for you to kind of refresh yourself on everything I experienced when I unboxed this, because it was very disappointing. It was a very long delivery time. It was 33 days to ship, plus 2 days processing for a total of 35 days. So I waited a long time for this canvas to arrive to me. And a lot of them you'll see have +1s. So where I should have gotten 26 bags, I actually got 28 bags. And the ones that are circled in orange are the ones that I was missing bags. I was missing one of 3787, which is a green, and I was missing 2 of 3041, which is a kind of a purpley mauve type color, and one of the main colors in this canvas, besides the background colors, the main colors in the owl itself. And I had some from my own inventory. I pulled those from my inventory and I added them into the containers, and we'll take a look at some of these leftovers, because when I say that these were some of the worst drills I've worked with, I mean they are right up there. I've had 2 canvases worse than this as far as drills are concerned. One of them was the Tell Me Stories, the giant fish. That one is equivalent as far as how bad the drills were and inconsistent in size they were. That one was a Diamond Art Club canvas, and it was one of my worst. The second one that was equally as bad was actually from Huacan, and it had a lot of the same types of drills where a lot of these had tabs. And I'm going to try to get you close up here so you can see. You're going to see the gapping as well. But they had like little tabs on them, and it was almost every color. So let me see if I can find a spot in particular that was very bad. You can see kind of, as I throw my canvas about, I'm trying to see, because I started using them thinking it wouldn't matter, because sometimes you'll find them on there. And if I can't find a particular spot, okay, like here's one. I'll show you the drills themselves. Let me focus that so it won't blur in and out. But you can see right in there, if the camera will show. But there's a gap because they have little pieces of plastic attached to them that causes it to take up more space than necessary. I had a Huacan one in which the main color was a white color, a white cream color, and they would not stick. They were constantly popping off, and that's the issue that you'll come across when you have drills that gap. I think Up in here was the same kind of issue, but I will show you an up close of what they look like so that you know what I mean when I say they have tabs on them. As much as I could try to be as consistent, you can see down in this corner how terrible that looks. Maybe the camera's not really showing it, but you can see that they're very uneven. Some of them are way smaller than the actual square that they were intended for, but overall the gapping was pretty atrocious. I'm trying to see if there's any other spots. And as usual, the 310s were the worst of the bunch. They were very holy. A lot of them had the tops that would be sheared off, which eliminates the shine. It makes them look very dull. They were broken, and I started out doing what I always do with a canvas and getting rid of all the garbage drills. I ran out of, let's see, what was it, 2 colors, and I had to pull from my own stash. And actually one of them, I didn't even have enough in my stash, and I had to borrow from another kit. So I'll have to order replacements for that now, because I'm not going to contact a company that provides bad drills to replace my bad drills. Let's just go down my checklist here. So I haven't even stated the store name or anything. That's how hyped up I am over this canvas. This is from PandaOne store. The name I gave this little lady is Witchy Owl. This is not a PandaOne canvas though. This is from Angel's Hand, and I don't know if I'll be able to show you the logo to show you this. There we go. Angel's Hand. So Angel's Hand was the drop shipping company that they bought this from. I have other Angel Hand canvases, and I can confirm that this is not a one-time thing. The other canvases are just as bad as far as drills go, which is really unfortunate because they do an amazing job with, like, look at this hat. It looks like it's really shining. And even up close, it looks like it. And, like, the little details like the bow and the flowers and the buckle. I mean, you're seeing it super up close. When you see the side-by-side, it'll be a little bit better. But the buckle here, you can see it. And these are all things in the picture that you want to show up. Like, even on this inventory sheet, you can see that it looks like the hat is shining. And so they do an amazing job with their canvases. All of them that I have are done amazingly. They do really good, like, blending colors, like this ombre, with the exception of, like, you're seeing it up close. From afar, it looks like a perfect ombre blend, except right in here, it's a very harsh, and you can see that this part here does not blend seamlessly. But the other canvases I have, one of them I have started working on. It is Sylvanas, and that one is impeccable too. The details are on point, and I have a comparison video with my Sylvanas one that's from Angel's Hand. It was a repurchase from a store that sent me it without drills. And when I compared the canvases side by side, the detail was 10 times better than the original one that I had ordered. So they know what they're doing. If they could just get better drills, they would be way up there. They'd end up in my top 5. I have a top 3, but they would be right up there. They would probably end up at number 4 because of how well their actual images are. As far as beads and how they adhere to the canvas, it's double-sided sticky tape. If you've worked with it, you know it's all the same. If you stick them down, they're hard to pluck off if you get them in the wrong spot because it's a tape, not a glue. So on that same token, they don't slide around on you or anything, and you get a pretty decent stick. It only is an issue if you need to pull drills off. Then you can actually rip that double-sided sticky tape if you're harsh with it. But if you're careful, you can get away with it. The canvas didn't seem to have any issues. It wasn't, turn it over. There was no wrinkles, no puckers, no rivers, no nothing like that. There's a little bit up at the top here, but that's from the way I hung this, not from delivery or anything like that. So the canvas itself was in an amazing condition. One thing that I always look for too is how far over the edge the stickiness goes. I don't like it to go super far out just because that creates a whole new set of problems. And this one did not go out very far at all. I felt like there was a good enough overage on it. Their chart is big and clear and easy enough to read. They do like to use some pretty complicated symbols, and that's the same with the other canvases. I felt like the size that was offered was a really good fit. They had many of other sizes to choose from, so I had my choice in it. And 50 by 50 is my favorite size. I try to always make sure that the image I'm going to be getting is a good fit. There have been times when I've learned my lesson the hard way, like I did with my haunted house one, in which I ordered a size way too small, and then none of the details appeared. Though most people won't see an issue with that, you have to judge for yourself. So let's get into the beads, because I had a significant amount of garbage. Two things actually that I like to track with my drills is beads that don't belong and garbage. The beads that don't belong, it's just for my enjoyment. I like to see which ones shouldn't be there. I actually have a small collection of these that I keep for some reason. But the garbage speaks volumes to the quality of the canvas. You may or may not have noticed that by the time I got down here, I was no longer able to be picky with my drills. I had to use what I had because I had nothing in reserve of that color, or I didn't have any I could borrow from another kit. So there was quite a few unique colors in this kit in which I wasn't able to steal from. So the actual garbage, this is a lot. For this size canvas, that is a lot of garbage. And it runs the gamut. Like I said, after a while, I had to start using the ones with holes, and it kills me to have done that. But I'm hoping it won't be noticeable once this little beauty is framed. But I had to do away with drills that were convex, concave, because they won't stick anyway. They'll pop off long before the rest of the drills ever will. They just don't have enough to hold them in place. Or ones that were broken in half. I noticed with the 310s especially, there was a lot that were super tiny, like almost half drills, if you will. They were just really small. They looked like a full drill, but they were just entirely too small. Very inconsistent. Oh, and not a whole lot of like little plastic bits, which is another common issue that you'll see in garbage drills, is the bottom of the barrel drills, which I think that these are. You usually will get a lot of plastic bits of garbage, and that also helps contribute to the static, because these were very, very staticky drills. Very low quality, very mass produced, if you will. So some of the specific issues with the drills that I encountered was which I found so hilarious. I really did. So in particular, this 451, which is the first one I ran out of, it says that I needed 1,793, and you get 10 bags, which should be 2,000. So I had over 200 that I should have had to play with. Now, I can tell you, there ain't 200 extra in this container. It might look like it's the same color in there, but that is because there's many like colors in this canvas. And they gave me 5 extra bags. So, by that token, I should have actually had 1,200 extra drills. There is no way that this canvas used just shy of 1,800. There had to have been way more used in this canvas, and their count is off. There's no other explanation for why having 5 extra bags meant I ran out. I had in my stash a bag of 200, and I used all of those plus some. And oddly enough, the drills that I borrowed were from the same drill company. So wherever these ones were ordered from, these ones were too. because they were the exact same dye lot, and that's just one giveaway. And they are the very generic bags. Like, you know what I'm talking about. So, the ones with tabs on them, let's see if I can find one easily without digging too much into my stash here. Let me pluck one out of here and bring it up close for you. This one, luckily, I didn't need any more that was in here because it wouldn't have been good. So you can see right there, there's that little bit of plastic that sticks out. And sometimes you can get away with using that. But for the most part, what's going to happen is they're going to cause the drills to pop off because there's not enough room for that extra bit of plastic to fit in there. Some of the, I'd say of all the colors, of all 32 colors, probably 20 of them, and I'm just guessing that I didn't count or anything, probably 20 of them had this tab issue, which was down here. So that was one of the issues with the 451s that I ran out of, that I had. But I did this in sections. It had 2 giant sheets on it, so it only had 2 cover papers, which means there's just 2 layers of tape placed. You know how sometimes you'll get the really thin ones and you'll have multiple. This one had 2 giant cover sheets on it, and I split this into 4s going this way and 3rds coming down. So by the time I got down here to this 3rd, and I had just this bottom quarter left to do, I ran out of the 451s. And they continued all the way over through the bottom in every one of the 4 sections that I had cut up. So I definitely needed more than they gave me, and by a lot. I guesstimated about 300 to 400 more than what they gave me. Considering that they gave me 5 extra bags, that's not good. And I don't recall having a lot of garbage with these particular colors. But I obviously must have. I must have had 1,200 bad ones. But I can tell you right now, there's not 1,200 drills in this container with all 32 colors. So, like I said, they obviously miscounted. The second color I ran out of, let's see, I have the baggie sitting here, 3861. And my bag here is empty, and that was, let me find it. So here is 3861. I had these in my reserve. Again, I had about, I want to say 250 to 300 in my reserve. And that's all I have left. And these were really good quality drills. There wasn't a lot of garbage in my replacements. And according to this sheet, 3861, I also got an additional bag. So they obviously did not guesstimate that color right either, because I should have, instead of 23 bags, I should have probably got like 25 or 26 bags instead of 23, but plus 124. So, and this was a main color. This is, you're seeing it right through the middle in this part of the ombre, and it's all over through the owl. So, I can go on and on about the drill issues, but I had encountered every single problem that you can encounter with drills. The little tabs, concave, convex, broken, dirty, gross. I had to change my pen so many times. And I use poster tack. I can typically go days without changing out my pen. I had to change it multiple times a session of painting, especially after using the 310s. They were disgustingly dirty. I've never had that issue or had to change it that often. Alright, let's finish off this checklist really quickly. As far as leftovers for the drills go, it really varied. Some colors, but because they use 200 count bags, it's not really an accurate representation. Some colors had a ton left over, and other colors had just a couple. So there was no consistency with that either. Some of the choices as far as colors go, I thought was a little weird, like the red down in here. Even from afar, it shows off red, but in the picture, it comes across more brown. I don't know. I could be reading into it more than I should. And then I thought down in her shoe could have had more definition. But I'm not going to harp on it because from afar, it looks amazing. Overall experience, you know, honestly, I was bored when I first started this canvas because it was super repetitive. I started up in this corner. This was the first time I decided to go top down on a canvas. And there was so much background that at times I got really bored. Other than dealing with the massive amounts of garbage, I actually had a lot of fun working on this canvas. It was, once the bulk of the background was out of the way, it was so fun to start seeing her emerge, and especially in the sections that I had cut, I would after every section was done, I'd hang it up and I'd stand back and I would admire it, because when you're looking up close, even in the camera how close you are, you don't get that amazing view that you do when she's hanging up and you're standing about 5-10 feet back. And the other question I like to ask myself with experience is, did it bring you joy or was it stressful? And it was both. It was stressful, especially toward the end, wondering if I was going to run out of drills, if I was going to have to just have a bunch of garbage. Like, was the rest of the canvas going to look really good where I was picky with the drills? And then this last corner was going to look like crap because I had no choice but to use garbage. I could have ordered some, yes, but then I run the risk of A, getting a different dye lot, which isn't always a bad thing, it can be a good thing, and B, having to wait a long time possibly for them to arrive. When it comes now to scoring for the unboxing, it did score an 8 out of 10, which is very low because of the missing drills. Now what I have decided to do, because this is an angel's hand that was sold through PandaOne store, is I'm actually going to start a new score for Angel's Hand. So now PandaOne store and Angel's Hand are both going to be scored in this. I just wasn't sure how else to go about it to do it in a fair manner. And this was the only fair way I could think to do it. I decided to carry the 8 out of 10 that Witchy Owl got and carry that over to Angel's Hand as well and give them both the same score. That way next time I have an Angel's Hand, regardless of the store it's from, I can add to that score and make it a little bit more accurate. As far as scoring goes, I think for the post review, PandaOne store and Angel's Hand consecutively, they're both going to get an 8.5 out of 10 on the post review, which does bring the score down to an 8.25 for both stores. And my recommendation is typically an 8.5. I have since moved that to an 8 and above because 8 is still a C. Still a C. I'm an A plus kind of gal though, so really you have to take that into account yourself, you know, based on what I'm telling you. And if you know anything about my scoring system, you cannot get this painting anymore at PandaOne store. If you look on some AliExpress stores, they will tell you where the canvas is manufactured from. And if ever you want a detailed video on how to order from AliExpress and where to find information, let me know down in the comments. I will be more than glad to film a tutorial on ordering canvases on AliExpress and how to make sure you're getting the most for your money and getting a decent canvas and knowing who sells the canvas. So just let me know. I'm more than happy to do that for you. It might be fun. I'm gonna insert a side-by-side for you here now so that you can see how the image turned out and how it compares to the original picture. So you can see it's so close. It's so close. And I know you've got a really up-close view of this. So all of that aside, I'm very happy with the finished product. I'm going to frame her and I'm going to display her proudly. Gaps and bad drills and all. I don't know. When you spend that amount of time on a canvas, no matter all the issues, they all start kind of going away after a while. And this is why I have to write things down. This is why I have to document them in videos. This is why I have to tell you about a lot of this stuff. So now it's your turn. Tell me down in the comments if you ever ordered an angel's hand, ordered from PandaOne's store, or ordered from another store that happened to sell angel's hand. Let me know what your personal experience with working with angel's hand or PandaOne is. I'm very, very curious. And also make sure you tell me like dimensions and stuff. Like what was the size of the canvas? How many colors? And if you had specific colors that were exceptionally terrible besides the 310, let me know. And let me know if you've had similar issues with not only this canvas, or with this company, excuse me, but with any other company that has just terrible, terrible drills. I think I need to start compiling a list and documenting this and having one big list. But that's, I think, where I'm going to leave you guys. I've rambled a lot. I'm going to have fun editing this video. So let me know all your thoughts and opinions down below. I like to hear it all. I like to be diverse. I like to hear all of it. And don't forget to subscribe on your way out if you have not already. Hit the thumbs up. It helps so much. It helps get the video seen and gets my name out there so that our beautiful little family can grow. And then don't forget to hit that bell so you will always be updated when I upload videos just like this one. And with that, I will let you go. Have an awesome day. Have fun doing whatever it is that truly, truly makes you happy. Love you, friends. Ha! And so does Witchy Owl. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.